Hi everyone, this is the intro to the anti-anxiety meditation. So this is part one, and then I will have just the meditation in part two because there were a few things that I wanted to chat about before I did the meditation. So I will have a link to a blog post down below that will have links to everything I'm talking about or referencing, as well as more information to different resources, books and videos and all that sort of stuff. So, all right. So just briefly, because when I was doing a show and tell with all the books and everything, it was getting into 20 minutes and that's just too long. So I'll have all of that on the blog post, and there's just a few key things I want to blather about here. So, first of all, what is anxiety? So, I'll give you my definition. It's an inappropriate fear response. That doesn't that sound like very sanitized, like, oh, it's just an inappropriate fear response. But and it, the body treats it as real. The brain thinks it's real. And so what does that mean? That means that the blood flows to the legs for running or the arms for fighting, and it goes to the back of the hindbrain, which the hindbrain is all it cares about is survival. It doesn't care if you're comfortable or not. Are you alive? Well, then it's done its job. And so, and I'll have some more information about the amygdala as part of that whole process on the blog if you have heard about the amygdala. So, yeah, so the blood flow is not going to the logical part of your brain, which is the prefrontal cortex of logical reasoning and conscious thought. It's just wanting to survive, and safety is all it cares about. So there you go. That's what's going on. The other thing that's going on physiologically is that you are either holding your breath or breathing really shallowly, and you've got a lot of muscle tension. And something something Tony Robbins said years ago was the only difference between fear and excitement is a smile. So give that a try. All right. So causes of anxiety. Can you hear Buddy? For those who asked, where's Buddy? All right. Here, I don't know if you can see him. There he is behind me, and he's snoring. And may I just say that beagles are the best anti-anxiety anything. All right. Back to causes. Yeah, causes. We were talking about causes. Number one, trauma, of course, and that's the cause of so many illnesses is trauma. So, and that can be physical trauma, it can be a one-time situation, or it could be something over time. It can also be abuse, so that could be physical, or it could also be mental, emotional, psychological abuse. So I have a video of Chris Godinez in that blog post, and if you follow to her channel, she has just so much information about PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, and she specializes in personality disorders and how those personality types can create anxiety, essentially. So she's a really good resource. What else? Environment. So physical environment, not just the people in the environment, but actual environment of toxic mold. And I think I have a link on the blog to Dave Asprey's Moldy the movie, which toxic mold, creates so many health issues, and especially in the last 30 years. So check that out. And then physiologically, if you have a thyroid disorder, if you have too much thyroid stimulating hormone, that can prompt sleeplessness, anxiety, racing thoughts, inability to focus on one thing. Conversely, that's hyperthyroid. Hypothyroid is when you don't have enough TSH, and so then you feel really heavy and sluggish, and can't focus and have brain fog. And then if you have Hashimoto's, which is the number one cause of hypothyroidism, then you go in between the both. So you go hyper, hypo. So it's like you can have all this energy and can't sleep, and actually gets misdiagnosed as bipolar sometimes because of that. Yeah, so that's thyroid. And then the other thing is vitamin deficiencies. And Dr. Kelly Brogan, who is a psychiatrist who treats psychological disorders holistically, and she actually gets people off their medications. She tells this story in her book of this woman who was admitted into the psych ward of a hospital and was actually strapped down and was there, and then she got transferred to another hospital. And I don't know if it was because probably insurance or something, but she got transferred to another hospital. They took her vitamin B levels, and she was so low. I mean, just so low. And so they just started pumping her full of vitamin B, and she came back. So that can have an effect on your psychological well-being, as well as, the whole brain gut connection. There's a lot of research being done on probiotics now and how those affect not only your mental well-being, but it also affects what kind of food you crave. So if you have like yeast overgrowth in your gut, then you're going to be craving lots of sugar stuff, and because that's what yeast uses to grow. So just, yeah. Anyway, I'm going off on a tangent again. Okay, so those are some causes. Now, one of the things and there's lots of things you can do, lots of non-medication things you can do in addition to the meditation. So one of the things that I'm just going to show you is an exercise from Brain Gym, and that is called hookups. So what you do is, and this Brain Gym is a set of 26 exercises that help integrate your brain and your body. So, left and right hemispheres, but also top, bottom of your body, back, front, that sort of thing. So it just gets you really integrated into your body. So what you do with hookups is you bring your hands forward like that, and then go like that and clasp. And then you're bringing your arms up and you're resting them against your chest. And then whatever hand you crossed over, so if you crossed over your left hand over your right, then you do the same thing with your legs. And you don't have to put yourself into a pretzel. You just cross. That's it. So you can do this standing, you can do this sitting, you can do this lying down. And this is a really great way just to sort of bring your awareness back into your body. And then you want to put your tongue on the roof of your mouth and slowly breathe in through your nose and then out through your nose. And what this does is it calms the body down and it activates the parasympathetic nervous system, which is the rest and digest nervous system in your body, and gets you out of your sympathetic fight or flight nervous system. And you can't be in both at the same time. So you're either in one or the other. So just by breathing slowly in and out through your nose and doing this will help you to calm down. So give this a try. And the other thing too is that, and then you can switch and do the other side. The other thing too is that it's good to practice these techniques when you're calm, when you're not being stimulated or triggered by anything in your environment. You just, practice this every morning or whatever. And then when you find one of those situations where in the past you would have felt anxious, now you'll perhaps start to notice that you feel calm in those situations now. So that's the goal anyway. All right, I've blathered on long enough. I am going to do the video, and that'll be part 2, and I'll have a link to everything in the blog, and